Hello and welcome to Lesson 14, page 91. This is the song titled Mountain Stream in our pre-level 1 book. And let's go ahead and jump right into reviewing the notes we're going to need today. And we have a very similar pattern, as you can see, that we're going to be exploring in this song. A lot of walk notes and our whole notes. But before we get there, let's start with the notes in the song. Okay, taking a look, we're going to need notes under our group of 2 black keys and our group of 3 black keys. Let's start with the group of 2 black keys. I'm going to go right to middle C, and we're using all 3 white keys under our group of 2 black keys. Remember, that's C, D, and E. Now, taking a look, it also wants us to use G and A in this song. And I'm going to give you 2 options. So if we have C, D, and E here, you can choose to use the G and A that's above or below. And G and A are going to be really easy to find because if we have our group of 3 black keys, it's the 2 white keys that are in the middle. They're surrounded by our front door and our back door, F and B. They're right here in the middle, G and A. And the reason why I wanted to give you 2 options for this song is because sometimes if we're doing 3 fingers covering C, D, E and 2 fingers covering G and A, this can be a little tricky because we're kind of doing a lot of back and forth in this song. And I think it could be easier to do 2 fingers in the left hand and then down here, and then 2 fingers in the right hand up here. And really we can do 3 to cover that E. This fingering I think is much easier for students to do. But you know, we can still do like a 2 and 2 like this because we actually don't need this E till the very end of the song. I'm going to do this fingering here because I want to match exactly what's in the book. But again, if you want to use this G and A that's lower under this group of 3 black keys, you certainly can. Okay, so let's practice playing some of our keys on the piano with some 1, 2, me, then you. 1, 2, me, then you. Play a C. How about a D? Now an E and a G. Now A. How about G and A? Now C and D and another C and D. Now let's play a G, then E, now D, and finally C. Okay, I hope you did well with your note review. Let's jump right into the first line of our song. Now students, look how many walk notes we have. We have groups of 4 in each of these parts. So 4 walk notes, and then the last line, the last note of the line is a whole note, which we hold for 4 beats. Let's go ahead and clap the whole first line just to get our steady rhythms in place. Here we go. 1, 2, first line, clap, clap, walk, 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 walk. Now the second group of 4, walk, 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 walk. Third group of 4, walk, 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 walk. Now our whole note, hold, 2, 3, 4, and off. Great work. So now that we're feeling good about our rhythms, let's check our notes. Students, there's a pattern that's happening. You've probably already seen it. Look, G, A, G, A. Or maybe you're playing down here. Either one's fine. And then we have C, D, C, D. And then it goes back to our G, A, G, A. And finally we'll land on C for 4 beats. This pattern actually repeats on the first 2 lines of our song over and over again, but we'll just practice it 1 line at a time. But that's why for our fingering, I recommended 2 fingers on C and D, 2 on G and A, because we don't need this E till like the very end of the song. And sometimes using this finger to go back and forth has been tricky for students. So, you know, we can do our bunny ears fingerings on C, D, and G and A, and just reach for this E later in the song when we need it. So let's try that nice and slow together, the first line. We're just going to go back and forth between the notes. And before you even play it, students, with me, you can just practice going back and forth a bunch of times. Eventually, maybe you'll get really good at going back and forth with your notes, which will make Mountain Stream very easy for you. Here we go, nice and slow. 1, 2. First line, play, play. G, A, G, A. Now down to C, D, C, D, C, D, back to G, G, A, G, A, and C. 2, 3, 4, and off. Great work. As I mentioned before, line 2 is exactly the same thing as line number 1. You'll see line 3 is almost exactly the same as well. So we're going to make easy work of this song, I think. I think you're going to do a great job. Let's go ahead and practice line 2, though, just to get in that extra practice. 1, 2. Line 2, play, play. G, A, G, A, now back to C, C, D, walk, walk, back to our G, G, A, G, A, C, 2, 3, 4, and off. Great work. Moving on down to line 3, same rhythms, all those 3 groups of 4 walk notes and a whole note at the end. But students, don't let this catch you off guard. Look, we have a G at the end of our line instead of a C. So the first, second, and fourth line all have C. Our third line has a G. So don't let that trick you. But other than that, it's the exact same thing. G, A, G, A, C, D, C, D, G, A, G, A. But make sure we land on a G at the end of this line. So let's try line number 3 together. Hands ready. 1, 2. Line 3, play, play. G, A, G, A. Now C, D, C, D. Back to G, A, G, A, then G. 2, 3, 4, and off. Awesome job. And now we are on the last line of our song. And we're going to zoom in on a certain part because I think the first half of this we're going to do a wonderful job because we've been playing it over and over. But let's look right here. We get our first change of our walk notes in the whole song right here. So we play a G, then go down to E for the first time. Then if you're just doing a bunny ears fingering like this or this, remember you can just reach up with whatever finger D was on to play that E as well. And so we're going to play G, then E, now D, C. So I recommend that you just practice doing that. G, E, D, C. And you can say the notes out loud while you play it, but just until you can do that nice and comfy, all the notes, okay? You can just play it over and over again. And when you're ready, you can try the whole line with me. So let's go back to the beginning and try the whole last line. Remember, our whole note has switched back to a C here. It was a G in the third line. Here we go. 1, 2. Last line, play, play. G, A, G, A, now C, D, C, D, now our new measure, G, E, D, C, C, 2, 3, 4, and off. Fantastic job. Let's go back to the beginning of our song, and we're going to try it at a slow tempo. And for the first time in this video, I'm actually going to be using a metronome as well, and that'll be on the second performance. And maybe you've never used a metronome before, but I'm actually just on Google here, and I typed in the word metronome, and the free one pops right up. And if you'd like, you can scroll it to whatever speed you want. That BPM just means beats per minute. And I'm going to keep it on 75. This is a good practice tempo, but if you want to go online and go even slower than that, that is totally fine. But these metronomes really help us to play at a steady beat. At this point in the book, I think it's a great spot to start to add our metronome practice. Remember, it's always something we're going to work up to. The first time we're practicing a song, we probably won't be able to play it with a metronome, so you can always come back to that. But I am wanting to have students focus on playing a steady beat in their songs, and the metronome is the key to that. So don't worry, just like maybe the first time you rode a bike, the first time you maybe weren't able to do it, but with some practice, you got it. The same thing is true with the metronome. The first couple of times you use it, it may be a little confusing or might be distracting to play along with, but I promise you it's an effective tool. I will only give you things to help you with your musicianship, never hurt you. So again, come back to that metronome when you're ready, but the first time we're going to do it without, just like we have been. Okay, first line, hands ready, here we go. 1, 2, here we go. Play G, A, G, A, C, D, C, D. Now G, A, G, A, and C. 2. Second line, go. Play G, A, walk, walk. Now C, D, C, D. Back to G, A, G, A, down to C. 2, 3, 4. Third line, G, A, G, A, C, D, C, D, G, A, G, A, and G. 2. Last line, go. Play G, A, G, A. Now C, D, C, D, G, E, D, C, C. 2, 3, 4, and off. Great work. And when you're ready, remember you can come back and try to play along with the metronome. And this is just like playing along with the recordings, except it's not just a click like this. But let's give it a try. Here we go. It's going to feel a little bit faster. 1, 2, here we go. G, A, G, A, C, D, C, D, G, A, G, A, C. 2. Second line, go. G, A, G, A, C, D, C, D, G, A, G, A, C. 2. Third line, go. G, A, G, A, C, D, C, D, G, A, G, A, G. 2. And last line, play. G, A, G, A, C, D, C, D, G, E, D, C, C. 2, 3, 4, and off. Whoa, playing along with that metronome can definitely feel quicker. Remember, you can slow it down if you need to when you're practicing. and find something that's just right for you. But great job completing Mountain Stream. I will see you on the next one.